Patch 13.16 has hit the live servers, and we're already seeing quite the shift in development when it comes to the meta, and specifically 5 Demacia, 3 Yordles, and that's why you clicked on the video. So, let's just talk about it, right? Let's just hop right into it. Before we do real quick, I do need to address something real quick. If you are not new to the channel, you would know that we have been doing daily uploads every single day until the Vegas LAN event, and unfortunately we have finally failed the challenge. I had a lot of personal things come up. I can't really discuss them on stream, or sorry, not on stream, on video, but sorry, it's been like 4 days since I last uploaded, but everything has been sorted out now. We are back to streaming and getting the videos uploaded every single day, so I hope you guys stick around. Just because the challenge is over doesn't mean we can't keep uploading daily and trying to, fulfill this for ourselves. So I hope you guys enjoy the daily uploads, because we are definitely back. The streams are back, and I hope to see you guys soon, either on YouTube or on Twitch. So now that we got that out of the way, let's talk about this board, the 5 Demacia 3 Yordle board. I'm gonna take my hoodie off, it's not even that fucking cold. This board is so fucking strong, dude. Like, I don't, it's not until you really see it, you're like, holy shit. Like, this board is it's why. Like, it's like borderline, you kind of need a B patch. It's like, I don't know if you actually do. It's very close, though. It's very close to this could require a B patch. I will say this, though. I don't think it does. I think there's a lot of hype surrounding it, but I don't think it's like turbo broken. But I think Garen 2 is a little too strong. But let's talk about it, okay? Real quick, funny enough, a lot of people this composition came on everybody's radar because of Milk today. The reason being is that because if you were sort of like, hey, today's the new patch, I don't know what to do, and you're just like any other competitive player, you probably went on lolchess.gg, looked through the leaderboards, you try to find anybody who's a high-ranking player who was trying to test out some comps today or was already playing the patch on their main accounts, and Milk has a second account that is around the same elo as his main account. So Milk was playing today, and he was playing a shitload of Demacia, and so everybody went over to Milk's stream and noticed that he was playing this shit, and you're like, holy fuck, what's going on? Funny enough, China had already developed this composition like a week or two back. Like, this is actually a screenshot from a guide, a Chinese guide that I can't read, so if you can translate it, please let me know in the comments. But this was a guide from like 2 weeks ago, or like a week ago. I don't actually know the day of this, but Tanner had posted this on Twitter saying like, hey, like, China's already been developing this composition for a while, and Nate, you're late. So holy fucking shit. So let's just talk about the theory behind the composition, okay? So the theory is basically this. You can Garen 3-star, Sona 3-star, really, really, really strong units after the patch. You play 5 Demacia, you get the radiant items onto Garen as well as the Sona here. I know I have the items onto Lux here. I'll explain this in a little bit. But you get the 3-star, level 8, get this. 3 Yordles in for the attack speed bonus. Teemo is a trait bot, Poppy is a trait bot, but it's totally okay because Garen 3 is a disgusting menace now. Heimerdinger has always been a disgusting unit. Lux 2 has always been a really, really good unit. Always dodging nerfs, so for whatever reason. And this board, it just plays itself. Obviously, instead of Nasus, you would tech into the Aatrox here. This would probably be the max capped version of the board. Now, this is very idealistic. This is very idealistic. You might think Garen 3, Sona 3, okay, I'm just gonna play level 7. I'm just gonna fucking reroll for Garen and Sona, and then level 8 tech into a Teemo, call it a day, yippee dappy doo. I'm gonna go play now, bye Kai, and like, hold your fucking horses, man, please. We need to talk about the game plan because this isn't your typical 3-cost reroll board, okay? You don't reroll, for example, on 7. You don't. In fact, you almost never do. And the reason being is that because this board is so disgustingly stable on level 7. It's disgusting. Like, just to give you an idea, when I first saw this board, I was like, this board, this one in particular, not the capped out finish version, this board, the board that you're probably going to be playing on level 7 on, right? I saw this shit, and I just almost dismissed this composition. I was like, this is bullshit. Like, if you play this on the last patch, I don't even know how well it would fare. Chances are it probably wouldn't do very well. This looks like dog. But after all the buffs and all the different ways they can approach this comp, now people realize, holy shit, hold your fucking horses for a second, bucko. Like, this shit's not only stable, it's very strong. It's so goddamn strong. This is, to give you an idea as to how strong this board is, this board is like about as strong as like an Aphelios 2 Deadeye board. Like, I'm not even kidding. I actually did some testing on stream earlier today. You know what? Instead of doing this, I'm just gonna play a clip. I'm gonna play a clip while I'm talking here. But you can see in the clip, I'm playing into like an Aphelios board. I'm playing the 7 Demacia line just to test it out. And then it like almost won. And this guy's a 4 failure, 4 Deadeye, Aphelios 2 capped out board. Like, it's actually like kind of discussing how strong Demacia units are at the moment. I don't know if the clip is done. I'm just gonna keep talking. Tits. Okay, good. I'm assuming the clip is done. So anyways, Really great stuff. So what people have noticed here is that you can play this board at level 7, and instead of re-rolling at 7 to try to find the guarantee the zone of 3, obviously you roll down on 7 to try to stabilize your board, either 3, 5, 4, 1, depends on your spot. You stabilize first, and then you push levels. That's almost how it always goes. But what you can do is, again, instead of re-rolling for the guarantee the zone of 3, stay on this board 7, go level 8, and then figure out whether or not you want to play around the guarantee or not. What I mean by this, it's very similar. If you remember set 8, Laser Core Warwick, and the way that board worked was basically similar to this. Imagine this Lux said Warwick, and imagine this Garen said Jax. Okay, is it starting to make a little more sense now? I mean, if you played back then you would know. But the idea is very simple. You stabilize with Lux 2, and then you go level 8, tech in that Heimerdinger that you find on level 8, that you find on your first roll, and you stay on this board. This is a really, really strong board, and then you can go, okay, from the spot, what is the game plan? You have 2 win conditions. You either play for Garen 3 and try to find Garen 3 on 8, or you just try to fast 9 and then tempo out into some level of a Bill Gates board. This ends up actually being like your Belveth item holder. Crazy enough, like think about it, right? Titans BT, sounds pretty good. And this actually ends up kind of being like your Ari item holder. You got the Shojin and the JG. Really, really easy. Very simple to tech into a 9-5 Supremacy, but if you find a lot of Garens on your way to level 9, then you can play around the Garen 3 star instead, and that it can be your win condition. Garen 3 is a disgusting unit. Absolutely fucking filthy, gross, dirty boy. It is so disgusting how good like he's a noble man, but he's not noble, bro. That man is dirty as fuck. Let's talk about the augments real quick. You might notice on the right hand side we got gotta go fast and pumping up. These are like mandatory, basically. You just basically take the Master Yi Legend and you just kind of force Garen reroll. I will say this though, Yi is only good for this composition. I know there was some speculation about the open fort Master Yi tech with clear back in like I think a patch or 2 ago with like Zeri Freljord. And like it's fine, but oop, I just knocked over my water bottle. There we go. Stay hydrated, homies. But I was watching Dish Soap earlier today, rank 1 of North America, in case you don't know for whatever reason. I don't know how the fuck you wouldn't. But Dish Soap was like, dude, like Master Yi fucking sucks. Like you just take Master Yi and then you find yourself never wanting to take any of his augments ever. So like, why would I even run Master Yi? It just limits you to basically Garen and nothing else. So listen, if you want to just like hard force this and be a Garen degenerate, go ahead. But I will warn you, if you try to pivot into something else, like Zeri or whatever, with the Master Yi Legend, you might not have a very good time, or rather, you might find yourself in a bit of a harder position, because you'll find yourself with like a bunch of augments, a bunch of Master Yi Legend augments that you just don't want to be taking. You're basically playing 5 out of 6 augments every time you're given augment selections. So I would be careful. But the big thing though is gotta go fast. Gotta go fast if you don't know. Your units generate 35% more mana and move 50% faster. The movement speed is something, it's kind of a stat that no one really talks about in TFT. It's almost always not that important, but in this comp in particular, it's very good. And the reason being is that basically this allows Garen to just fucking like just zoom to his next target. And there's gonna be one fight you're gonna see later on. The reason why this video is so long, by the way, is because we're doing a VOD review later of Milk who played this composition on stream. But it's like, it basically, Garen just zooms, and you'll see this one fight where Garen just zooms and just like Beyblades and just melts everything in his path. It's fucking disgusting, and move speed is so good. It basically increases the DPS of this composition super high. Some other augments to just keep in mind, for example, is Petricite Shackles. This is, if you don't know, you might, if it's your first time hearing about this augment, I wouldn't be surprised for you. Basically, your Demacians deal 50% more damage, and it's increased to 30% against Noxians and enemies with 100 or more maximum mana. Kind of a weird, arbitrary 100 or more maximum mana. Like, why? I mean, I don't really get it, but 15% more damage across the board, so it's pretty good. One of the best augments they can grab. Ascension is okay. This board is actually not really about stalling out and like ramping up damage, but rather you're just kind of bursting through everybody. That's also why, in terms of the itemizations here, you might notice that it's Titans BT for Garen and not actually Ginsu's like it used to be in the past. The idea being is that Ginsu's got a couple of nerfs over the course of this set, to the point where Ginsu's is kind of a meh item. It's a very controversial item. Some people say it's very good, some say it's very bad. It's good in this comp, it's bad in this comp, whatever. But for Garen in particular, you don't really need it. You just get enough attack speed already just through gotta go fast and pumping up. But then on top of that, like, Ginsu doesn't stack as well as it used to on Garen's ultimate. That's a change that they did a while back. On top of the fact that, again, we're trying to burst the opponents. We're not really trying to like ramp up over time and like build up a shitload of attack speed and whatever, right? Garen's not gonna be able to ramp up too much because again, we don't have any Zeke's Heralds. We have enough attacks, we don't need any more. So Titans BT is always the way to go. But honestly though, in the stats, Ginsu's pops up quite often. So I honestly think that if you wanted to run Ginsu's, you should just do so. It's fine. I don't think it's terrible by any means, but like, I mean, I don't know. Who am I to say? Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe Ginsu's absolute dog shit, but I think it's acceptable. I just don't think it's like BIS. Titans BT is like by far BIS. But I think that's basically everything that I wanted to cover with this composition. So let's just hop into the VOD review. Boom. Okay, no, just kidding. Sorry. One last thing I need to mention real quick. For Heimerdinger, there were some changes to his modifications. I don't think it matters. I think it's still 111. The Mechano Goldenator Shrinko is like the best way to go about Heimerdinger mods. I don't think self-repair really matters specifically in this composition, but I think triple self-repair is actually pretty good. I've yet to still see players play it, but I don't think you play it in this composition. You probably play in something like Built Over Zeri, but that's something we can discuss in a future video. But for now, let's actually go into the VOD review and talk about Milk's gameplay in this competition. I will see you guys there. Alright, so here we go. We are inside of Milk's game. Now, this game was, again, this was ripped off earlier today from one of his streams where he was playing around the 5 Demacia line. So I'm actually going to probably be going pretty quickly throughout this video because I just want to make sure that if we are going to be watching this game, we've already talked about the main key points about this composition. But nonetheless, it's good to talk about, you know, this and that and just like quickly, you know, maybe point out some of the things that might be important that you might not have thought about in the current patch. So currently we are inside of Ionia, the Dreaming Pool. You might have noticed Milk was actually sitting on the sump. The sump is actually kind of okay for this comp. It's surprisingly not that bad because you get to just reroll on 7 for free at every single turn. It's not that bad. But you might notice now, players are holding Demacia units now. Like, a lot of players are holding Demacia units, and I think Garen is sort of the default now. Where you're like, hey, I don't know what I'm playing this game, but when you go into a game, you used to just default Zeri Gunners for the most part. Some people would do Aphelios with Failure, but it wasn't as good. Or Mages or Void or whatever. But nowadays, the default seems to be Demacia. I don't think it has to be Demacia no matter what, but I think Demacia is definitely one of the stronger openers that you can get in the current state, especially if you manage to get 3 Demacia. I think it's really, really up there, especially the Demacian units are actually kind of decent quality nowadays. So as you can see, 2-1, we are given Pumping Up, Shopping Spree, and Social Distancing. We are playing the Garen reroll comp. All of these are kind of sorry, I misspoke. I'm pretty sure he just takes Pumping Up here. He can reroll middle and right side, see what else he can get here. Maybe he finds like something that he'd like to play. Nope, takes Pumping Up here, and we are given 3 Demacia because of the Dreaming Pool. Really good stuff. And again, we're gonna fast forward pretty quickly throughout the video because there isn't too much to talk about. Again, when it comes, I'm gonna actually hold on a minute. I'm gonna cut this part out, but I'm gonna lower the volume of him because he actually yaps like a ridiculous amount. It's very distracting. But sorry, we're back. But anyways, when it comes to the Dreaming Pool basically guarantees us our Heimerdinger. And Heimerdinger is like, once you hit the Heimerdinger, this comp is like online. It's one of those things that's like, once you have it, you're gonna have a much better time trying to just stabilize because 3 Yordle is actually super, super strong because that extra 20-30% attack speed on top of the Garen is really, 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 really BIS. So here, as we can see, we did a level up to 4. We are staying level 3 here, and I think he's just staying level 3 because he doesn't think his board is that strong. Even though Demacia, yes, is pretty strong, we didn't have like that strong of a board in general. Again, I think Milk in particular also really likes Loose Streak in the early game with the Demacia board. I don't actually agree with that. I think with the Demacia board, you should try to strong board whenever you can and then try to play into Demacia later and pivot into it. That's just because even though, yeah, the 3 Demacia line is really nice in the early game and it is really strong, there are stronger early game lines, stuff like Void, stuff like Noxus. I don't think Demacia is like the strongest, but it's definitely, it's okay to have, and especially with Galio being Giga buffed, especially if you find an early Galio 2, you can definitely streak in the early game with Demacia. Just, I think the conditions are just a bit harder to find. So we're just gonna fast forward a bit. Again, we are trying to play into this Demacia line. Milk has just been kind of hard forcing it the whole day, actually, just trying to find the different nuances and things to note whenever playing this line. We do lose our loose streak here. KO2 is actually like kind of a unit these days, so that is something to keep in mind. It's like not that great of a unit, but I think if you can get Ginsu onto her, really, is it him? Her? I don't know, but really, really strong unit nonetheless. 5 Demacia is also really, really easy to hit. Typically, you're trying to find the 5 Demacia with Sona as well, and if you just play 5 Demacia on your board, it's just strong. it's fucking strong. Obviously we are, I think the reason why also, by the way, Milk likes to lose streak early is because he wants to prioritize trying to get that like bis items onto Garen. You really only need Titan's BT. So by sort of forcing your HP to sack a little bit and get higher priority on the carousel, you're able to find BT and Titans pretty easily. Here as we can see, we end up mixed streaking. It's not the best of the best, but it's still nonetheless okay. Like, we're like 40 gold. We know we're gonna be trying to play around like the Garen reroll or whatever. I don't really know in this VOD whether or not Milk actually tries to play into like reroll Garen, reroll Sona at 7. If I think he would probably just like push tempo after 2-starring everything, but I don't actually know. I just know that he actually plays this line, but I never actually like watched his VOD. This is the first time I'm watching it with you guys. 50 gold, really good stuff. Level 5, we're at a really good spot. Battle ready, I don't think battle ready is actually very takeable. 6% more damage and take 6% less damage. I think if we're playing a composition like vertical juggernauts, yeah, I guess it's takeable, but in this scenario, I don't think it's actually that good. I think a lot of people have also realized that battle ready in general is just not a very good augment to take. It feels really, really bad. So I think you reroll it every single time. You can maybe take not today for Garen, but I would just reroll middle and right side and see what happens, and maybe even left side, to be honest. Petricite Shackles, I mean, it's insta take. You might have noticed, like, he like as soon as he saw it, he basically rerolled everything else like giga quick, and then he just immediately took Petricite Forest here, or sorry, Petricite Shackles. Galio 2, his board is basically online. And again, like I said before, this board is super duper strong once you're like 5 Demacia, but also just in general, it's just a really strong board because the Demacia units all got buffed so heavily. You see the Shojin Slam as well, that is going to be for our Sona or our Lux, depending on what we find. And it's a solid board. Again, it doesn't look like this board is really strong, but like as the fights play out, like this guy, the guy we're playing into, I don't know why this guy is playing Noxus, but then he's only level 5 with social distancing. Like, I don't really know what's going on over there. But this board, you will see, and once we play into somebody with like a real board, it's fucking strong, man. We do have the Azir on our board for now. This is just to play our strongest board. We are, again, trying to play our strongest board for as much as we can. Early game HP preservation, again, I still think it's way too important for this board in particular, because you will start to bleed out a little bit while trying to find either Garen 3 or trying to decide to go level 9. It is your choice. But we are going to probably roll down pretty hard on level 7. It looks like it's gonna be a level 7 at 4-1 instead of 3-5. The only reason is because we don't have too much money to be rolling down on 7 with, but also with the fact that our board is like decently stable. We are still mixed streaking, but something that's like terrible by any means. We do secure the Titans for our Garen, and we're already looking at a Garen pair, so I mean our board's looking pretty good. And I mean, again, this board, we're gonna fast forward actually a little bit. There's not much to talk about. We're gonna try to play into the 5 Demacia line. He finds a Lux here. We're gonna play 5 Demacia. You could actually level in this spot. It's actually excusable, but I mean, I think you just play 5 Demacia in this spot, and that's fine. He actually Shojins the Sona here. I think he's probably going to try to re-roll for Sona 3 as well. But I think this Shojin could actually go on Lux, and I think that actually could have been the correct play, but I think both are fine as well. I guess it depends on like the game plan. Do you want to roll at 7, or do you want to try to play tempo and push for level 8? I think in his spot, I would probably just roll on 8 instead of 7, just because, you're gonna roll pretty deep on 7 here anyways. Once you 2-star everything, it's really unlikely you'll be able to garner your econ back up and then try to go level 8. So I think just trying to go level 8 because you know you're getting that Heimerdinger guaranteed at a certain point. You might as well just, you know, just go level 8 so that you already have that slot openly available. So here, we're gonna play at regular speed. Actually, yeah, here we go. Regular speed, and we're just gonna be trying to roll down, trying to find all of our Demacians, all of our 2-star upgrades, the Lux 2, the Garen 2, J4, etc. Try to find basically everything that we need. I actually have barely played this board myself, so like I'm trying to remember the line exactly, but I mean this looks pretty good to me, and he looks pretty solid enough. I think if I were him, I probably would have thrown the Swain onto the board here. That gives a sorcerer plus strategist, and that probably like stabilizes our board pretty hard. I'm not entirely sure what he's rolling for in particular. I think it's for Sona 2 and Lux 2. He still has a couple of upgrades he could be looking for here, but nonetheless it still seems that he's in a really good spot. Decides to slam Archangels here, which is kind of an interesting decision to make. He definitely could have slammed JG, but he also had Ionic Spark as an option. I can't really tell you why Archangels is better than either of those options. I guess the idea being is that like he wants to kill the tier, but I mean, why would you really care? Here, long distance pals, library card, gotta go fast. It is the gold one, so gotta go fast is probably an insta take in this spot. Even though yes, LDP is super strong, it did get 3% nerfed in this current patch. Still a really strong fucking augment. I don't think 3% does anything. I still think LDP is like an S tier augment. But I think you always gotta go fast in this spot because it's just, yeah, he just fucking takes, he didn't bother like rerolling anything else. It's too good. It's actually just too good. It works too well with this board. The mana generation is super dope. The fucking units are really good that work all well with it. Oh, he's rolling for Juggernaut. There we go. That's why. But his board is just really, really good. So now our board is super solid, and we're just gonna try to go level 8. And then we're just gonna stabilize there. You might notice he also has the Kale in instead of the Poppy. The reason being is that Kale actually has innate MR shred. So I think the little bit of extra utility is better than just playing around a Poppy that's just going to be like, oh, like, you know, this Poppy's just going to be on our board and just facing a little bit of extra value. Well, we can get a little bit of utility out of the Kale, so Kale's definitely sort of better to play on this board than Poppy. So, good stuff. And again, we're going to be trying to go level 8 here. We are down to 36 HP, which, again, it might seem a little low. Oh, there's an ad. That's so funny. I didn't even know I recorded an ad in this. Okay, well, that's really awkward. Anyways, you can tell I took it out of his stream. Like, I think I was watching this live when I was recording the OBS thing. That's so funny. I didn't even know that was a thing. Picks up the Heimerdinger off Carousel. We're probably going to wait. We're going to sack 2, and then we're probably going to go level 8 and try to play the Heimerdinger. Oh, no, we're playing Heimerdinger now. We played... Oh, interesting. Okay, wait, hold on. Let's rewind that back a little bit, because I have no idea what the fuck just happened. It looks like we take down to 3 Demacia instead to play this Heimerdinger and get maybe a couple Maza to him as well. Good decision making. I actually like that a lot. Very nice. So, anyways, looks like we're playing 3 Demacia instead with the 3 Yordles here. Really, really nice. And we're just, again, we're trying to be able to sack 2 before we go level 8 here. And then we're going to be able to just have everything on our board lickety split. It looks like he actually sold the Teemo, which is, I don't think, correct. I think he could have kept the Teemo. Maybe it was costing him Econ, but nonetheless, I think Teemo just... Wait, he already has 3 Yordle. Wait, I'm so fucking lost, bro. Why does he have... Oh, no, he has the Teemo on his board. Okay, I'm an idiot. Anyways, bro, this analysis is all over the place, man. I mean, this is what happens when you're watching at 4x speed. Like, you can't catch everything. Here we get the Heimerdinger out of the Dreaming Pool. Super great. We're going to roll down here, try to find the last bits of our units. Have 5 Demacia on our board. Super nice. And we are going to be looking for that. I mean, you probably don't make the Zona 2 here, only because if you make it, it's too expensive. The odds of you finding that Zona 3 is kind of low. You'd be stuck rolling at 8 no matter what. We have negative Garens, and we'd rather have Garen 3 over Soda 3. I don't think we're going to actually play into it. So we end up slamming the Shroud here, which is nice. GS for the Lux. And really solid board. You can see that Milk actually goes double Mechano Shrinko. That's his preference. I still think the Execute is better. That's just my opinion. But nonetheless, I mean, to each their own. We don't really have stats for Mechano and like Shrinko and whatever, so we don't actually know what's best. Here he keeps rolling because he wants a Donkey, try to find that J4 as well as the Lux 2. Finds everything, and now we can sit and go, okay, do we want to go level 9 or do we want to stay level 8 and try to find the Garens? We're staying at 1 extra Garen. So right now it's probably just a fast line angle. But as you can see, these fights, we're really stable. We are very, very stable right now. Everything's upgraded to start on the board, and we are chilling. And what's actually crazy is that I think this board will probably streak for a very long time. Again, the board, like, it doesn't look that strong, but it is surprisingly fucking stable. Super stable. And once you have the Heimerdinger online with the mods, it's basically GG's go next. Because, like, your board's stable. This is a very top 4 unless you find the Garen 3. And then if you find it, then you are in a really good spot. So, as we can see in his fight right now, like, for example, the opponent's board, let's just, you know, keep in mind, like, what other people are playing. Just have a frame of reference, right? Our opponent's playing a very standard, very strong Deadeye board with, for whatever reason, Frontline Soraka. I don't know what's going on over there. But, Aphelios 2, Urgot 2, Sejuani, 3 Freljord, Mechano with the fucking double Mechano Shrink Ray with the Heimerdinger. It looks like 1, 2, 3, 4 Deadeye. Really, really standard board. I'm not gonna lie, it's not the strongest of Deadeye boards. I'm assuming that's just what he found, but nonetheless, it's still a very, very good board. Obviously, you want something like Shen instead of the Soraka here. You want something like Taric instead of this other Deadeye. 3 Deadeye is not that great. Or, sorry, 4 Deadeye is not that great. It's usually 3 Deadeye. But nonetheless, he's absolutely steamrolling the opponent's board, like, super easily. We don't even have the J4-2, actually, so... you can tell this board's super, super strong. I hope we find somebody who's playing a real board. These lobbies, they're challenger level lobbies, but they feel kind of fake. These boards are like just not very good. I don't know what's going on. Hopefully next fight is a little bit better here. But again, like I said before, we are gonna just try to find a way to go. Okay, like, do we go level 9 or do we just go for Garen 3, right? We'll see what happens based off what we natural. So here we are playing into, like, okay, this is a real board. This is actually a real board. We are playing into Yasuo 2, Kaisa 2 with what looks like 5, 6 challenger. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 challenger. Yeah, 6 challenger with the Ari on our board for 3 Ionia. This is a real board. This is actually a real board. And actually, Yasuo just got buffed this patch. So we can see how this goes. His Kaizen doesn't have 3 items for whatever reason. I don't know what's going on there either. And he has a Shiv Ionic Spark. Maybe he low rolled his components. What the fuck is going on in this lobby? Like, what? Are there any real boards? It's 5-5. Why are there no real boards yet? Okay. You might notice he's also like juggling his radiant items around. He's just doing this because he wants to make sure that the radiant items are on Lux and on Garen here. That's just because those are his strongest units right now. Like, he doesn't need the radiant item on Sona here. Makes no sense. Like, let's try. Okay. Okay, this is a real board. This is a real board. Okay. Bad. So, the board that we're playing into here, it's a Vel'Koz 3, Sona 2, Lux 2. This is a 4 multicaster board with a Teemo as well. And like a decent front line, but for multicasters, this is like one of the stronger front lines that you can get. That's just because that's how the traits work out. It does look a little weaker, but I mean, Shen 2, J4 2, he's gonna be super online. But Vel'Koz 3 actually got a bunch of buffs. So this unit's actually super strong, especially if you find it early, which it looks like A5 Beef Wagyu was able to do. So this is going to be a real fight. So we can see that we can actually test finally the strength of this board, right? So let's watch this fight go down in real time. And it looks like, I would assume Milk's board is going to get absolutely obliterated here. But it's actually like not that bad. It's almost like 2-unit loss, right? So, I mean, we're already top 4. We haven't, you know, even found the 3 stars for anything yet. And we are chilling. If you had to ask me, I think this board can actually support, like... I think this board can actually support, like, 2 or 3 players. You just 2-star everything, and then it's like a top 4 for a bunch of people. But if you play into a couple more dirty high rollers, though, that's a bit of a different story. Jesus Christ, another ad? I'm sorry. I recorded this in real time, so, like, let's just... Adge. Okay, cool. Back to the game. So, wow, that's never happened. Nonetheless, it's never happened twice. That's so crazy. But, alright, anyways, it's the top 4. Can we go first place here? As you can tell, we are 51 gold. Do we go level 9 here, or do we try to play for Garen 3? Now, again, remember your fundamentals. If you're gonna go 9, make sure you have the money to actually pivot your board. It looks like the game is just about to end. We are down to basically like one last fight. We have an extra Garen here. So it looks like to go level 9, we need 68. We're still at 59. There's maybe 3 fights left. So it makes a lot more sense to just roll for Garen 3 here. So that's probably what we're gonna do here. We're gonna fast forward. Yep, it looks like Milk is gonna start rolling here. You're gonna try to find a couple Garens. Does he find everything this turn? Rolls down to 30, still 3 off. He probably doesn't want to roll down all the way down just yet. But, I mean, I think in this spot, you could probably make the argument that you could actually just roll down to try to find Garen 3. He's probably stopping at 30. Maybe it's an APM thing, but I think it's mostly just because he doesn't want to absolutely destroy his econ just in case. But, he knows he's playing to the board that he would have won into anyways. And then this other guy is just, like, hard witching with Vel'Koz 3. So here in this spot, I'm pretty sure he's just going to send it down, try to find the Garen 3. Send it down to 0. Does he hit? 2 off. I mean, I would still roll here. I don't know why he's not. There's no reason not to, really. You can make the argument that, like, oh, like, you know, a little bit, that 1 extra interest gold might make the difference. But, like, I mean, no, it really won't. Like, does 1 gold really determine whether or not you're gonna find it or not? I don't think so. Also, hold on a minute. Just bring it back real quick. Bring it back real quick. Holy fucking shit. 5 more seconds. Look at this. We have not upgraded our Garen yet. We're still playing this multi-caster 3-star Vel'Koz board. We're gonna put out 4 XP because we already know the outcome of the fight. We did suffer the Vel'Koz and the Ari, but holy fucking shit, we lost. We won. Like, we should not. Our board should not be winning that fight ever. It's so fucking stupid. I don't even know what he really wants to take in this spot. It's probably JG. Yeah, makes sense. And then we're gonna roll down here and try to find the Garen 3. Do we find it? No. A little more techno genius. Garen 3, hello, Garen 3, no. Okay, well, I mean, it's gonna be a long fucking game. I mean, it looks like, I'm gonna put this at 4 XP. We know what the game is. He's just gonna donkey roll for Garen 3. I mean, if he keeps winning, it's kind of stupid. I don't know why his board's even winning, to be completely honest. It should not be winning. He's a 2-star Garen with 2-star Lux. Like, this is why I said earlier, like, I don't think this comp actually requires a B patch, but it should be close. It's pretty close. This 2-star Garen it shouldn't stabilize the board as hard as it is, in my opinion. That's why I'm like, I don't know how I feel about it. You might notice he also just tailing his board just to make sure he gets Dark in there, get the Aatrox 2 in there as well. Gonna roll, find the Garen 3, really good stuff. And I mean, this should be the last fight. Now it's like not even gonna be close. This Garen is probably just gonna wipe the entire fucking board, and it's gonna be a terrible time for Beef Wagyu. Let's see what happens here. Does he get Zephyred? All right, that's fine. Yeah, I mean, it's just not even close. Wagyu goes down. It's a first. So there you have it. The board's really strong. You got to see a game. You got to see a playthrough of it. Hopefully, you try this out in your games. Let me know what you think, and I'll see you guys all in the next video tomorrow. And until then, I'll see you guys all later. Take care and happy climbing.